Hello, this is a description of a walk that I took in January 2016. It's a favourite walk of mine for a number of reasons. It's an easy enough path to follow. You'll need to take a map, but you won't need to refer to it that often. Um, it mainly follows sort of fairly well surfaced paths, and that's one of the reasons why my friend and I chose to do this walk at this particular time, January 2016, because the weather had been absolutely terrible for about 4 or 5 weeks prior to this walk. Almost constant rain and bad weather, and we anticipated the ground on the moor being extremely boggy and swampy, and wanted to take a walk just to get us out and back in the habit of walking again, because it's just after the Christmas period. But we didn't want to do anything that was going to be too difficult or strenuous. It is a fairly long walk, over 11 miles, and in fact you could extend it further. But we chose to do the sort of relatively short walk, and as I say, just blow the cobwebs off after the Christmas period. Another reason I like this walk is that it's a very good way to introduce yourself to Dartmoor if you're not familiar with walking on the moor, and accustomize you to the weather without putting you under too much strain. It starts within easy reach of Plymouth. It starts at a spot called Waterworks Reservoir, which is very close to Yelverton, which is a short drive north of Plymouth. You can actually park, if you like, at the dam of the reservoir, or else we chose to start the walk at the tip of Waterworks Reservoir, at a place called Norsworthy Bridge that crosses the River Meavy that flows into the reservoir, and there's a very convenient car park there. And the path is going to, or the walk rather, is going to follow a path leading sort of northeast from the car park, and it actually joins a fairly recent cycle path, and then passes through the town of Princetown, where Dartmoor prison is situated, and then joins the disused railway line, the old steam train line up to Princeton, which is a very easy track indeed to follow, and that will take you all the way back virtually to Yelverton itself, and then you just join minor roads that lead back down to the reservoir and the car park. So it's a very good way of getting some distance and not putting yourself under too much pressure in terms of walking across difficult ground. So here we are at the car park at Norsworthy Bridge. We're going to head off past that blue car there and then turn right onto the trail, and that is just coming to view, the car park itself. So this is a zoomed in view of the map. There's a lot of Forestry Commission ground, so quite a lot of access roads to that. You just follow this path up, and you're soon getting quite nice views of the moor. That's Down Tor there, which is a nice tor to climb. You can just about make out the rubbly shape of it on that map there. And all we're going to do is follow this path up for quite a long distance. can see some rain falling on the horizon over there, and in fact the whole day was intermittent rain showers, and at one point it did get extremely windy, probably about 40 mile/hour winds, so the weather had improved over the recent past, but it was still not the best of weather. And we're gradually climbing, and if you keep stopping and looking back, you'll get better and better views down onto Burritt Reservoir, which you can see in the distance there. This is a view across to the right, and in the distance there is a tor called Gutter Tor, and if you view it from the right angle, this angle, it's got a very distinctive sort of gap-toothed notch in it, which some people suggest is the origin of its name, that it's Gate Tor rather than Gutter Tor. After about 2.5 miles, you come to this area here. You'll see this Plymouth City Waterworks monument, and there's a crossroads of the track here, and you want to turn left and go down that cycle path there, heading in the general. I don't know if you can see in the distance, there's an aerial mast. That's just above Princetown, and that's the direction you want to head in. So turn left at that point and join the cycle path. Halfway down the cycle path on your right, you come across South Hessery Tor, and this is where we stopped to have lunch. It gives you some protection against the wind and weather, and it's got a few flat surfaces to sit on where you can eat your lunch. The wind had really picked up at this point, and it started to even the rain turned to hail for a while, but I'd actually taken out for the first time on the moor a new thermos flask that I bought, and I had a very nice warming lunch of hot soup and rolls, and it was very enjoyable despite the weather. So as you crest this rise, you get a good view of Dartmoor. You can see the prison in the distance there, and the aerial mast, which is on a tor called North Hessery Tor, which you can see from a lot of points in Dartmoor. That's a zoomed in look at the prison, pretty grim. I've got a few specks of rain on the lens of my camera by this stage, but it's surprising really that there isn't more of it. I did try to film just in the dry spells, but the wind and rain was getting pretty continuous by this point. You can, if you want, stop off in Princetown for your lunch. There's a couple of pubs, there's cafes and shops. There's loos as well if you need to use the loo. But we we just went straight through. You can see the route we took through here, and that's about halfway through the town. There's a visitor centre, which is the old Duchy Hotel, as you can see, or could see there, and we're going off in that direction past where that steam is coming up. That is a brewery, and we're going to go past that and onto this railway line here. This is where we pick up the railway line. And once you're on this line, it's a really easy walk. It's on an embankment a lot of the way, so it's raised above the wet ground, and all you got to do is follow the line. After you've been walking a mile or so, downhill to your left, you'll probably be able to make out, about the middle of the screen there, a footbridge going over the railway line. And this is the same railway line that you're actually walking on at the moment. But the line itself is going to take a huge loop around, descending slowly, following the gradient. But a little bit further on your left, you're going to come across a direct shortcut going straight down the hill, which you can take, depending on whether you want to walk further or take the shortcut. It's up to you. But if you walk left, take the left-hand turn down that shortcut, it will take you out onto the line, and then you can resume your walk and go under that bridge. So this is the spot. There's a trail coming in on your right there. That's the line carrying on into the distance, and this is the shortcut down the hill, which will bring you out onto the railway line much further on. So this is the Google Map version of the same area, and you can make out the faint impression of the loop of the line there at the top of the map. And once you've got to the bottom of the shortcut, you just turn left and continue to follow the line towards Yelverton. This is the bottom of the shortcut, looking up it. That's the direction you're going to travel in. There's a fence there, it's fairly obvious that's where you meet it. And that's the line coming in that you haven't walked along. But as I say, we're going to go left up that way. And it's just a matter of carrying on, following the line, and it will eventually bring you to a modern footbridge that passes across the Yelverton to Princetown road. just in the distance there, on the horizon where the tree line ends on the right, there's a sort of white area, and that's the footbridge that the trail is taking you towards. And here we are, just approaching the footbridge. Once you're over the bridge, you just keep following the trail, and at the bottom of the hill here, we're going to turn left rather than straight on. I've indicated on the map there the point where you turn left. This is it. So we're going to go up this minor road here. And the road picks up Devonport Leat, which we're going to follow, and that's going to take us down to the road that goes around Burris Hill Reservoir. This is the junction where the minor road joins the road that circles around the reservoir. You just turn left there and cross over Norsworthy Bridge. This is a bridge here, and the car park's just over on the right there. So that's the end of the walk. I hope you enjoyed it, and I can recommend it as a good way of getting a little bit of distance under your belt without putting yourself under too much pressure. In particular, the disused railway line makes it a very easy walk to follow, and all you really got to do is put up with the weather. On a nice summer's day though, it's actually a gorgeous walk, but it's also good in bad weather because you don't have to worry too much about getting lost or the poor visibility or getting sort of stuck in too much mud or swampy ground. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.